Good afternoon and welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, the channel host and admin. Today, I'm going to give you a little update on availability for season tickets at Everton's new stadium, Bramley Moor Dock. As you can see, looking very nice in the background for me today. A lovely sunny day outside and a lovely sunny day at Bramley Moor. So Everton have given every current season ticket holder an opportunity to purchase a season ticket. And now it is about to go this Wednesday coming. I think it's the 12th of March at 10 a.m. Will go on sale to those on the waiting list. I believe 5 or more years on the waiting list in Tier 1. I noticed a lot of fans have been calling for this video a bit earlier than Monday. So I brought it forward a little bit. I may do another update on Monday just to see if anything has changed. But I know a lot of fans are so excited to be able to pick up their season ticket, whereas others are quite disappointed to see that their waiting list position has actually gone down over time. They thought they maybe were a chance of getting one and possibly won't be able to. Before we go any further, if you're new here, please make sure you hit the subscribe button below. 75% of all people who watch this show regularly, all of our content, don't subscribe. Maybe you don't know how to. It's just a little button below. And turn the notification bell on for updates. We've got loads coming if you're watching today on Saturday, 8th of March. We've got loads of content ahead of Everton versus Wolves, including pre-match build-up show with Chad and Chris, and our post-match reaction, of course, at the full-time whistle. Okay, so I'm about to share the screen now and show you the current season ticket availability. I'll try and give some analysis. I do have to drive to Birmingham. I am in Liverpool. Of course, I've got to go to Birmingham. Not unfortunately, I'm not able to go to the match. It is for work. So I will have to set off shortly. So we're not going to be on more than 10 minutes, but I will give you all the information you need. So, if you've watched our previous videos, you will know a little bit about Everton Stadium. This near this side here is the east. This is the west facing the Wirral. This is the north facing Bootle, and this is the south facing the city centre. The south is what they consider the home end. The lower tier, even this quadrant in the corner, are the standing sections, and the rest of the ground, apart from the away section, is all seated. On the east and upper tier, these four blocks are designated for club view. And on the west side, you can't quite see off this photo. It's this stupid app. I would try and find a way of getting this to move. It is literally just hit and miss with this. Proper bugs out, so I'm going to refresh it. But the west side, as you can imagine, a massive chunk of that, I'd say 2/3 is hospitality corporates and all the other things that Everton have got to do. So all of this, possibly not 2/3, but at least a half is designated to corporate boxes, hospitality experiences and events. So Everton season ticket holders were given an opportunity to purchase according to their tenure, 23 years first, and sliding down to I think 18 or 19, 15, 12, 8, 5, 1, and coming up will be waiting list. And anyone now can still purchase a season ticket if they haven't already, if they're an existing season ticket holder. But what I noticed about the stadium was the north side potentially has issues with the sun, a bit like the Gladys Street. You have the away fans and the family enclosure where you have to have an under 18 with you. And so there's a little bit cheaper to reflect possibly the negative side of that, but there's no means a bad seat anywhere. The club view, we could argue up here, is such a good seat where they've put that at £1,200 a pop. And on the other side, let's say you sat on the side in the main stand, Bullins, etc. at Goodison, you didn't have a lot of choice unless you went in corporates. You couldn't go in family. So you'd either be going southwest, or you'd be going southeast, or northeast, upper or lower. So there wasn't a lot of choice. It kind of pushes a lot of fans into this sort of south. And then if you didn't want to stand, you found yourself in the upper tier. So look, the club have got to make money. They had their reasons for doing that. But a lot of fans were pushed into certain areas, and a lot of fans on ongoing basis weren't able to get the season ticket they necessarily wanted, which was unfortunate. Hi, Eugene. Happy weekend to you. Emma, You didn't get one in the first round final after 30 March. Congratulations on the test event. Emma, you'll see in a moment. I think there's still around based on what I saw the other day. I thought there was 4,000 or 5,000 seats still available going onto the waiting list, but we'll see now. We'll have a little look. Unfortunately, it won't let me click on stands that are already sold out. If you're intrigued to see the views of them, you can go on the stadium view thing. You can go back and watch some of the other videos. I don't have all day, unfortunately, to show you that today. On this east side, you're pretty much sold out. Every single seat in club view is gone. Every single seat in the lower section is gone, even into the corner. We're looking into this upper tier 216. Unless you've got accessibility needs, you'll be looking at one of these tickets, and you're right at the back. It's potentially now row 61. You're very close to the pitch, even though you're so high, but it is very, very steep. Now, that's the only option if you want to be on the east stand, looking at the back of 216. Moving around, I can tell you, unfortunately, anyone who was hoping to get into the new Gladys Street, if you like, every single seat in the lower south stand has sold out. You're only able to purchase in the upper, where there is, I believe, minimal seats left. You're looking at the back rows, the back 4, 5, 6 rows. The more south you get, you can see completely gone, apart from a couple here on the back row, behind the goal. And so the most central areas are gone. Off to the side, you're looking at 4 or 5 rows in the back row. So if you want to sit in the south side of the ground, there are still a few seats. The closest you can get to the pitch is 54. And this reminds me of the Old Trafford view. It is far out, there's no word of a lie. When you're in the corner, you feel further away from the pitch. Very, very steep, right in the corner. If you want to go directly behind the goal, the closest you can get, I'd say now, as a single, 57. I prefer that to the corner. So there's a good few seats here. If you say there's 28 on a row, 5 rows, 5 times 25, approximately. It's not everyone's done it 125 seats per block. You can work out, let's say there's 250, 500. You can work out there's at least 1,000 seats still available in this south. Moving around into the west corner, a west lower sold out. Blocks 1 and 2, upper tier 200, 201. We got season tickets in 201. We've also got some season tickets in 2. I thought these were good seats. You wanted to sit on the side, but the closest you're going to get now to being on the side is in 204, I imagine, right at the back. Row 61, right on the back row. And a few into this corner here. I can't show you anything of note round on the west stand. The rest of the west stand sold out. As you'd expect, it was pretty much completely sold out weeks ago. In all honesty, if you've been looking back since the 12 years tenure, there was basically just a few seats in block 1 and 2, and very similar to what you see now. There hasn't been much change for weeks. It's been predominantly from tenure 8 onwards. When it got to 8, the lower standing section in the south stand was decimated by 5. There was virtually nothing left. In fact, there was just a dozen seats probably by 5. If it makes you feel better, the upper tiers. My mic's gone off there. Hang on. Sorry about that. If it makes anyone feel better, the upper tiers all around the ground, within the first sort of 10, 15 rows, all around the ground, anywhere apart from the north, were sold by those with 23 years or more. 23 years or more were snapping up the front rows of the upper tiers, the back rows of the lower tiers. Then by 18 years, 15 years, it became more like the front section of the lower, and then the back half of the upper tier. Then we got to 12 years tenure. It got less and less, so you had to be close to the front, close to the back. By 8 years, lower was pretty much decimated. By 5 years, all of the lower tier sold out, and you were just left with these back row upper ones. And what I've noticed is when it got to 1 year, it was mostly this side that you had to buy. There still wasn't a lot of choice for 1 year on that side of the ground. You're all looking towards the north side. But what I did notice was when I've been checking this sales over this 1+ years tenure ahead of them going on the waiting list, loads of seats in the north have now sold, which I'll show you. But if you've got if you like the idea of sitting in the west stand still, this has really changed now, so you are going right into the corner. But I think this is as good as you're going to get. Row 58, seat 248. I think these will be snapped up. Yes, it's very high, very steep, but it's still a good view for a football match if you enjoy watching like you're on television, I suppose. And then into this corner, as you can see, there's loads of season ticket availability. The closest you can get is row 43 in the northwest corner, with the kids section just below you. I think I prefer being a bit higher up possibly and just being more closer to the center. I think you just get a better perspective of the game. Working your way around then, right in this corner, this upper corner, there's tons of season ticket availability. So if you are on the waiting list now, or you haven't already purchased a season ticket, these are the sorts of areas that you're going to be looking for. Anticipate to get your season ticket in this sort of area. It is fastest fingers first. I don't know how it works with it. Can anyone confirm whether it's 5,000 where it's though? Is it done actually like a waiting list, whereas the first person on the waiting list goes first, or does it just go right? Anyone with less than 5,000 on the waiting list can buy. Southampton winning, yeah. You know what? Football's funny, but it's irrelevant now, isn't it? They've already won the league, but you would have made a fair few quid on that. If you watching a lot of football, possession does not mean a lot. We can give the ball to Wolves tonight as long as we can run up the other end and give it to Beto through 1v1. I'm confident. That's what teams do. You saw PSG and Liverpool midweek. PSG had all of the ball, pass, but they never got into dangerous areas. And Liverpool can play into the space and use their pace. So there's only so much possession will get you against these low block teams. I wish teams had done low block all season against Liverpool. I just frustrated them, but they've basically just gifted them win after win. Let us know in the comments what the other scores are. I just want to see Everton season ticket waiting list. If anyone's got this information, I don't have all day to sit on this, unfortunately. I have got to drive to Birmingham in a moment, get my suit on, get ready for work. Tier 1 includes all official members who are registered on the season ticket waiting list. Priority within these tiers is ordered by the number of official memberships held. So it's per year. So is it 5 years, then 4 years, then 3 years, then 2 years, then 1? Look, I'm sorry I don't quite have the information on that. That's the biggest clarity that I can give you. I'll just post the link. I'll just paste it here. Just if anyone wants to see what the information was, evertonfc.com/season-26/season-tickets/waiting list with a hyphen. Just leave that up for a moment. Okay. Right, moving on. I don't know how it quite works, but I think I need to do a bit more research on that when I've got more time. Let's go into the lower section for waiting list members waiting to get their season ticket. A few have appeared. Now this is because Evertonians have been buying season tickets in the family section without having an under 18 with them. You have to have an under 18 with you. The club will ring and ask you to move. If you've got a child with you, the best sort of seat you're getting is on row 7. If you want to be low and close to the action, which kids generally like, they're not watching the match as in from an analytical perspective. They're watching it for the atmosphere. You can go a bit further back to row 15. I'm liking that. That's probably like the equivalent of the back of the family enclosure. There's only about 11 or 12 rows in the family enclosure. You can go further back if you're on your own. Why would you be on your own in the family enclosure? These are just going to go on general sale. I don't see what they can do with them. unless maybe you've got another child who's sitting a few rows in front of you or someone in your group. I don't know how that's going to work. There's a few odd seats and some groups in this corner. So quite a few in the family corner. As you can see, 125 as well in the corner of this goal. I believe this is still the family enclosure. Right on the front row. And you can go right all the way back. So there's just tons of availability here, guys. But remember, this lower section, kids under 18 only. Upper section, you're looking into the corner. There's a few here in 248 if you want to sit on the side. And then you are going into the north stand, north upper tier, loads of availability. I think this has been the worst part of the ground in terms of sales. No one wants it. As soon as you go over to the aways, more and more for sale. In the lower north, very little left, moving away from the aways. As you can see, this is the first, moving away from the kids. This is the first section. And then moving across more and more, you can see a few seats, no pairs. There was a lot of pairs, similar to my Park End view, row 27, really nice. Only single seats. And then you get behind the goal. There's some groups here. There's an ability to get maybe two together here on row 26. Fantastic. In the north. And they're a bit cheaper, 640 each. And then a big cluster of seats, as you can imagine. This is because you're looking at the game through the net. I mean, who wants to sit there really at the end of the day? That would just get under my nerves. And then you'd going into 18 now. This is where you've got the section break between aways and home, and this is why there's so many seats there. It is just the least popular part of the ground, as you can imagine. It's going to be the last to go. It's like sitting in the upper Bullens next to them, but I think the upper Bullens next to them, you tolerate it because you're on the side. Possibly like the Park End P6, is it? Or P1. But if you're on the season ticket waiting list, maybe towards the back, you'll get one of these seats. You can anticipate that you're going to be sat within this section. If you're at the back of the waiting list, maybe between 4,000 and 5,000 on the waiting list, you'll be able to go and grab some tickets here. But a lot of the North Stand is available, and I'm estimating between 4,000 and 5,000 season tickets are still available to purchase. Then you've got this lower section here in this corner. This is all the aways, 119 and 120. Behind the aways, as you can imagine, very few sales. I think maybe just the front row because of the access for certain people who maybe need to get in and out the ground really quickly. And then you're moving around into 229. As you can see, every single green seat still available there in that corner. So tons of availability, but you are looking north. It is chalk and cheese. There's very little in the south side of the ground unless you're in the corners towards the back. Or yeah, I mean that's what it is. It is what it is. And then if you want to sit on the side, you are in the north east side. The closest you're getting now, row 53, seat 252. Your aways are down here. If you're not bothered for them, that is a good view. That's the closest you're getting. You could go a bit lower down, actually, row 41, but you're pretty much sitting on top of all these people here. And that's where it ends. And then you end up in club view. Now, there may be some returns. I don't know if the club have held any tickets back for general sale or whatever. But that's the situation, guys. I hope this video has been useful. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Just very quickly to summarize as an overview, East all sold, pop in the corner here. South, the more central you get, the less seats. It's doing that thing again. More central you get, the less seats. North, loads of availability, more towards the aways and the family. Behind the goal, pretty much gone. Upper tiers, loads of availability. Family enclosure, there's still tons of seats. You need a kid with you. Some of them are singles. So there is options. I think the best place to go would be behind the family enclosure at the moment or in 226. They, for me, would be the best two areas of the ground to sit. And then if you could get a seat behind the goal in the north. So that would be, and I think some of these back row ones, 61, 62 will go on general sale. Okay, we're hoping for a draw between Palace and Ipswich. Blue stew, yes. Start a family so you can get one in there. I've got a 4-month-old, but would have been wouldn't have been on. She wouldn't have been on the waiting list, obviously. Ollie, how many will be in the wait list? I think there'll be 4,000 or 5,000 seats available. Right, I've been doing a lot of videos on this. I'm fairly tired. I've got to go and get ready for work. Please hit the subscribe button for me and help this channel out. I'll be back, I think, sometime around 7 o'clock UK time for some pre-match build-up. And just to mention to you guys, if you're interested in joining Follow Everton as a host, pundit, contributor on camera, and you've got or you're willing to get yourself a mic headset, or you've got a camera or a laptop, or an iPad, some device where you can have your say. We're looking for someone to join, possibly someone a bit older, maybe someone in the 50s or 60s who can give us a different perspective on a lot of things to do with Everton. So if you're interested, you can message me at Follow Everton on Twitter, and be able to liaise with you on there. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Take care. Bye now.